Hey everybody, Tom here, and today I want to teach you how to set up Istanbul. Istanbul is a game that's I think it's 5 years old at the time of this recording. It was a Kinderspiel des Jahres, whatever, winner in 2014, and it's been sitting on my shelf of shame for 5 years, and so I am finally gonna get it out. I finally played it for the first time, and now I want to teach you how to set it up and play it. So let's go ahead and take the lid off here. I have, I think, the first printing of this game, and so I mentioned that because the rulebook is okay, but it did leave me with some questions during my first gameplay of it, and it sounds like in subsequent printings they've changed some of the wording and added some stuff to make it a little bit more clear. So for me, the rulebook was okay. I did have to spend some time online looking stuff up, and I, found out that there's a bunch of fixes there. Okay. Now we've got a couple of things in here. We've got some bonus cards. Let's take those out. We have 5 different player colors. This game plays 2 to 5 players. So of course I will go ahead and grab blue and red, and then these will stay in the box. I have this Plano box from Walmart that I love so much. And here, let me just point this out. I have a piece of paper that I've added just to make sure that I could fit everything in here that I wanted to. It just kind of helps keep this money separated right there. I just took a 1-inch strip piece of paper and folded it and taped it a little bit. So inside of this we have money. And then we have a few tiles we're going to use for setup. We have some rubies, we have some wheelbarrows, some other things. So we're going to be using these. We'll go ahead and take that out now. And then we've got these are moss tiles. Let's just take those out of the bag right now. Now you're going to see that one thing that I did to make space in this insert is I just went ahead and I took a box cutting knife and I just cut out a little slot on that side and another one on that side. And the way that I had those moss tiles, I know they're sliding now, but the way that I had those moss tiles in there, it really kept things from sliding around, and it was super nice and easy to store vertically, which is how I store things. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these. Now we have some player aids, so let's go ahead and grab these. And then what we have are some player boards. They're all the exact same. They're not really color player specific, but don't worry, I will use, colored papers to help with that aspect there. So the rest of these can go in here. And then what we have are 16 tiles that are going to make up the main player board out in the center of the table. Okay, so wait, why are these? Oh, are these double-sided? I don't think I knew that these were double-sided before. And now, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's no difference between the two sides. Okay, well, there's that little bit of information I'm learning as I go, apparently. But for now, I can go ahead and get rid of this box. And let's get the main board set up first. So when setting up this board, there's a couple of different options that you can go through. You can basically do something called the shortest paths. You can do the longest paths. You can do in order or just totally random with a couple of things you need to be careful about. The shortest path is great for learning the game. When I was learning this game, I used the short path method, and it just tells you on there, each of these tiles has 3 different numbers. So if you're doing the shortest path, you just need to lay the numbers out according to these blue numbers in order. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. So you would just look at those blue numbers to help get them in order. If you want to do the longest path, that would be the green numbers. That would kind of make it's pretty challenging when you do that, so don't do that for your first game. Or you could group things according to the types of tiles, which sounds a little weird, but it's the big number here, and that's going to come into gameplay. That's why it's a big number there. So you could also sort it like that. That's the in order method. But what I think I'm going to try is I'm going to do the random method. So I'm just kind of giving these just a quick crappy shuffle, and then we'll just lay them out, and then I'll double check on the rule book to make sure that I'm not breaking any of the layout rules. So I'll go ahead and put these here. Oh, I already see an issue. Let's put these out first. So one thing to be aware of is tile number 7, the fountain. It needs to be one of the 4 that's in the middle of the grid. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this one down here. And we'll put that one in its place there. The other thing that I'm going to have to keep an eye on is looking for the tiles called the black market and the tea house. So here's the black market, and I just need to make sure that it stays at least 3 tiles away from the tea house, which I think being in the middle position is probably not going to work. I'm going to have to get that away. But let's lay it out. Yeah, definitely. So here's the tea house right here. So I need to be at least 3 spaces away from that for the black market. And so, here, I'll just lay these out. Let's see. If I put this down here, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That'll be fine. Yeah. How about that? I guess if I wanted to be really safe, I could swap those, but I think we'll call that good. So, again, with the exception of the fountain needing to be in the middle, and having at least 3 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, between the black market and the tea house, you could just shuffle them up and lay them out. Do you know what? I'm a little nervous about this. I know that that is 3 spaces, but it's just freaking me out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the black market. Let's just put it a snugly 4 spaces away, and we'll all be happy with that. Okay, now several of these spaces are going to need certain things in their setup. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing is, let's go ahead and take a look at these mosque tiles. There are 2 spaces called, oh, they ended up right next to each other, the small mosque and the great mosque. So let's go ahead and take these out here. And you're going to see that there are 4 different colors represented. These are going to be the 4 colors. I know they kind of match the player colors, but they're the resource colors. So we have like jewelry and fruit and spices and fabric. Sure. But basically, you can see the colors that need to go on each of these mosques, and you don't shuffle these tiles up. They actually need to be put out in order. And so up here at the top, you're going to see a certain number of, oh, I know that's not focusing very well, is it? There we go. You're going to see a certain number of that resource, and they just need to be put in order from least to greatest. Now, in a 4 or 5 player game, you're just going to keep all of these here. But in a 3 player game, you need to remove the bottom one. And in a 2 player game, which I'm setting up for, we need to take out the 3 and the 5 version. So there's only 2 tiles there, basically. Let's see, we'll do the same thing for the blue. So I need to take out the 3 and the 5, and it goes here. Do the same for yellow. Take out the 3. And, oh, man, I'm struggling to do that. Okay. 3 and the 5. And finally the green, the 3 and the 5. Okay. So we've got the mosque tiles down. And then also on the mosques, there are this right here in the corner, this rubies icon. And almost always, anytime you see this rubies icon down in the corner, you just need 1 ruby per player in those spots. So I'm going to put 2 rubies down here. The exception is, with these mosque tiles, that in a 5 player game, you would only put 4 rubies in each of these. And as you learn how the game plays, that makes a lot of sense. Essentially, there can only be 4 tiles of each color maximum. So even in a 5 player game, only 4 people would be able to acquire those tiles, kind of a thing. Yeah, so there's that. And speaking of rubies, let's go ahead and do that on this tile here. And then there are 2 other tiles, the Sultan's Palace and the Gemstone Dealer. They're going to need a whole bunch of rubies kind of put around the border. So here, let me hold this up for you really fast. We're going to lay rubies on all of these spaces up to our player count. So in a 2 player game, I'm going to stop here. 3 player game, stop here. 4 or 5 players, you stop there. So let's just go ahead and do that now while we're talking about rubies. The rubies are going to be how we win the game, is by picking these rubies up. And obviously more on that in the gameplay video, but they're nice and pretty. Okay, and then over here, the Sultan's Palace. Here, I'll hold it up a little closer. 2 and 3 players, we need to stop here. 4 and 5 players, we need to stop here. Okay, so go ahead and throw these rubies out. And 1 more. Okay, a couple other things. What else have we got to do? Here at the Wainwright place, you can kind of see this empty rectangle. Here, let me pull this over. I've got my extra wheelbarrow tokens. Each player has on their player board 3 empty spots for these extensions. And so over here on this tile, you're going to need 3 wheelbarrow, I don't know, that's what they're called. I think it is, per player. So I'm just adding 6 of these tiles here. Everybody's able to upgrade fully as needed. All right, and then, oh, why do I keep moving that off? What we're going to need to do is take these 4 cubes, these kind of neutral colored cubes, and these are going to go in the post office along the top row, like that. Then we have these tiles here. This tile is going to be our first player marker, so I'm going to go ahead and just hand that to the blue player now. And then these dark tiles are going to go on the big market. What's it called? The large market. So I'm just going to go ahead and give these a quick shuffle. I mean, you could do it. It doesn't really matter. Shuffle these up, and then you're going to put them face up on the large market. And then on the small market, we're going to do the same thing with these light colored tiles. And go ahead and put these face up right here. And I could be crazy, but I think I've got all of that stuff set up. It kind of looks like these bonus cards are going to go right here, but that's not necessarily the case. That's going to be the discard pile. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take these bonus cards, shuffle them up, and each player is going to start with one of these cards. So I'll just throw these over before we set up our player areas. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just make a draw pile, and I'm just going to put it right here next to the caravansary. I guess that's what it's called. Next, what we need to do is we need to place these people. It's like a smuggler. This guy's a smuggler, and this guy's a something or other. What is that? The governor. The purple one's the governor, and then the smuggler. So the way that we're going to place these guys is we're going to roll some dice. Oh, I should say that was for the purple one. And we're going to put this guy on space 11. So these are not in order because I had shuffled them. So you just got to look for the big 11. The governor's going to go right here. And then the other guy, oh, also got an 11. That's random. And he's going to go down there as well. Now, one final thing to set up the main board is for a 2-player game, we need to tighten up the board just a little bit. To do that, we need to go into the other player colors and find this disc. I think that's called their merchant. And we need to take out 1 merchant for the 3 remaining players. They won't really go there in the police station, but hold on, let me get the other ones out. So here's the white one. And then we need the yellow one. And where these guys are going to go on the mosques. So one guy goes on the small mosque, one guy goes on the big mosque, and then the other guy is going to go on the gemstone dealer. So basically they go on the largest numbers because these tiles go from 1 to 16. So just probably due to my crappy shuffling, I guess I probably did shuffle crappier than I thought. But yeah, those are all right next to each other down there. Whew. Okay, so the main board is set up. Again, I know that if you're not familiar with the game, that's going to look and feel a little overwhelming. But once you've played the game, it's really obvious what goes on each tile. And that makes setup feel a little bit easier. And now we need to set up our player boards. And so, as per usual, I'm going to go ahead and use a colored paper just to help make things extra clear for us. We're just going to lay this right here. In the main spot, we'll keep the player aid really close nearby. I guess my dog is waking up from his nap because he's really loud. We have our bonus card that we would keep secret from other players, so we'll just go ahead and keep that down here, secret-like. And we're going to go ahead and take out some of these discs. Well, we're going to just empty out this bag. Now, in this bag of player stuff, I've got 4 different cubes, and they need to go on the leftmost space here in your wheelbarrow. Then you're going to have a whole bunch of discs of different sizes. Let's go back to the main board. So over here at the main board, let's take a look. We've got basically 3 different kinds of discs. Well, we have this like fat one. This is our family member. They need to start at the police station. And then you need to take one of these skinny discs. So we have kind of a fatter disc with our sticker that I put on. You need to do that when setting up the game the first time. But you're going to take one of the skinnier blank discs, and that's just going to kind of go off the board. I'll just keep it right here for now. Well, hold on. I'm going to keep it down here at the Great Mosque next to the blue one. That's just when you get this tile, you get that disc kind of a thing. Now for these other ones, your 4 skinny ones, and then this last one, you're going to go ahead and stack them up like this, and they're going to go to the fountain spot like that. So let's go ahead and get the red player set up basically the same way. So we just need to put their wheelbarrow like this. You can kind of see in that artwork it looks like a wheelbarrow. And this player aid is double-sided, which I like double-sided things and I like player aids. I'm a little nitpick. I wish they would have put something different on the backside. What good does it do you to have the exact same information on both sides? Like there could have been a really nice quick explanation for all of the locations on one side of that board. That's just my grown-up Christmas wish. So we have our bonus card. Go ahead and put it here. That might have been the same one as the blue player. I don't know. And same thing. We're going to go ahead and take these discs over. And we've got our family member goes in prison. We've got our one extra disc that goes down here at the Great Mosque. And then, well, I forgot to put the cubes. That's okay. We've got our discs struggling here. Oh, yep. Okay. We've got our discs. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay. We got our discs like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put these cubes down here. And really quickly, I'm now having a moment where I realize that having these discs up here is going to be a bad plan. I was trying to be so smart. Let's put them down here. Yeah, having them on here is going to be problematic because of the way that the game plays. So I'll annotate that. Okay. Anyway, we are ready to play Istanbul. If you are interested in seeing this game played, go ahead and click on the link of the description of this video. Yes, setup was probably a little scattered. Hopefully it's clear enough, and hopefully watching this game played would help you in your setup a little better. Anyway, enough talk. I want to go play. I will see you there. Okay, bye.